With Necron custom secondaries being nerfed so you can't take objectives secured with anything else, the staple setup of objectives secured and a pre-game move of 7 has just gone. So which dynasties are best and what should we be playing in the new Arks of Omen world? Let's start with the weakest of options available, moving to the strongest. Nephrek. Everyone gets a 6+ invuln, but lots of units have a better save than that anyway. They can auto advance 6 but can't shoot, and now that's not that useful. And they can fall back or also advance through models and terrain. It's quite situational. For one turn they gain both the command protocols, that's +1 to move, and perform actions and shoot. That is nice, but the Warlord trait and Relic aren't good, and all in all it's the weakest dynasty. Sautek. They've got a good Warlord trait for doing CP regen, and that's always useful. But their primary abilities are to reroll morale tests, but Necrons have good leadership anyway, and they get full rapid fire within 18 inches, so while that doesn't affect a lot of units in the codex, actually having the +3 inches for Mefret is basically the same thing. The special term with both command protocols gives +3 inches to aura range, and fall back and shoot at -1 ballistic skill. Overall, just not as strong as other things available. Now a middle ground option, playable but overshadowed by better options. Zarakan. This is a resilient dynasty. They get a 5+ feel no pain against mortal wounds, and can reroll 1 wound per unit. With the command protocols they get +1 wound with living metal, and also reroll 1 dice with reanimation protocols. So definitely resilient. They've got a good Warlord trait to select a good command protocol for a turn, and the strat and ferret dampening for 1 CP give some of the only deny Psyker ability, but still there's just better options available. I believe there is one winning dynasty, but the next 2 are really playable and strong, in no particular order. Nihalic. This doesn't have a specific focus of shooting or melee. The primary buffs are to gain obsec, and troops count as double, which has proven to be very powerful. They also get to ignore AP -1 in the deployment zone, a sort of armour of contempt, but it's situational and not that amazing. And the double command protocol turn, they gain light cover if they've not moved, and then when they're not in terrain, they can still do hold steady or set to defend. The Warlord trait gives a fight first, which is the only way to do that in the codex, and the Relic provides extra resilience. There's a strat to perform actions and shoot as well, and that's very good. So obsec can win games, and there's quite a lot else to go with it. Mefret. This is the shooty one. They get +3 inch to range, and this really helps with rapid fire. They get +1 AP at half range, and that's made better by having that extra range anyway. And when they gain both command protocols, they get 6 to wound at range, give +1 AP, and they can ignore cover at half range. With all that extra AP and the loss of armour of contempt, this is turning out to be quite nice. It's a little strange that they have a melee Warlord trait in a shooty dynasty, but you can still build for it. But they have a really nice relic giving a shooty replacement for a Gauss Blaster taken on the Royal Warden, and having access to a 3 mortal wound strat from 6 to wound just adds to the overall great output this dynasty has. And now for what I think is the best dynasty. Novok, the melee dynasty. And Necron melee is really good. They get +1 to charge rolls, +1 AP on the charge, and when they gain both the command protocols, 6 to wound in melee is an extra AP again, and +1 strength on the charge. So melee is really important in 9th, and this is the melee dynasty, and generally the best for most of the mission types. Extra strength on the charge, plus a strat to do the same as well, is super powerful. As I've said, extra AP is even more powerful now with Armour of Contempt gone, and they have another great strat, which is Blood Rights for 1 CP, which is +1 attack in melee. So your Wraiths can go to strength 7 attacks, -4 AP, and your Flayed ones to -3 AP, and that is really going to cut into enemies. The custom dynasties can still be strong. The pre-game move, coupled with something else, may be an option, but actually I think a lot of people are going to go back to the original dynasties, and I'd be really interested to hear what you think is the best dynasty. Please drop me a comment. See you again soon. Bye.